Strus, Max, three, got it! Mitchell spins, shoots, banks it in! That may be the dagger!
Surprise Mobley!
Perfect pass.
Oh my! Showtime here in downtown Cleveland!
All right, everyone, it's the Road to 16, fueled by True North Convenience Stores, on site, on location, here in Detroit, getting you set for Game 2. The Pistons took Game 1 by 10. You know what I could use? A good old-fashioned blowout. A Cavs blowout tonight, right now. Even the series at 1, let's go back home to Cleveland.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about that.
No.
I would be happy with any victory, though, tonight.
It's been too long. Blowouts are nice. We haven't had a blowout, a nice, good old-fashioned blowout. Games 1 and 2, very nice. Against Toronto, we could use one here tonight.
Yeah, why not bring the blowouts back?
Yeah, Game 1 didn't go the way the Cavs wanted, obviously. Turnovers, again, we've talked about it yesterday. We talked about it after the ball game. Cavs know it. They worked on it yesterday. Good spirited practice yesterday. Optional here today. Turnovers were a problem. Ball security obviously is going to be big here tonight.
Yeah, look, we knew it was an issue in the first series with Toronto, and the Detroit Pistons play an intense style of defense. They were one of the top-ranked defenses in the league for a reason, but I think more than that, so many of the ball security issues were just self-inflicted, and that's what we heard about from Donovan Mitchell, from James Harden, the onus on them, taking accountability for that, and knowing that they've got to be better at that here tonight.
It's a Detroit team that's top 5 in terms of points off turnovers. They're top 5 in terms of fast break points during the regular season. It's a kind of ball they play. Cavs know it, and again, no secrets around here.
No.
I mean, the Cavs know this team, played them 4 times during the regular season. These teams split during the first 82, and they go again here tonight in Game 2. But, you know, we talk about tweaks, we talk about adjustments. You're not expecting a ton coming into this game. We're going to talk about some of the rotational adjustments because of foul trouble we saw, also injuries as well. We're going to talk about that later in the show, but these teams know each other very, very well.
They do. I will say, though, you know, we talked about the turnovers and Donovan and James taking accountability for that, but it's also not just on them, right?
Oh, no.
Like a lot of this, and you'll hear Kenny talk about this, has to do with the spacing, right?
Yeah.
And guys making sure they're creating space, getting open for, you know, James when he's coming downhill, whatever the case may be. So we'd love to see just that area cleaned up here tonight.
Yeah, we talked about to a number of coaches about that even during round 1 in terms of the offense seeming to stagnate at times, not being able to get inside the three-point line. And it's not just on the guards, it's that ball movement, it's that player movement that at times when healthy has seen this team really thrive during the regular season.
Yeah, and at the same time, too, Detroit plays a defense where they're packing the paint, and they're making it really difficult for you to get inside. So you've got to create the space on the outside and also knock down some threes as well.
Yeah, we're going to hear from both coaches on the other side of the break. Kenny talked to folks just yesterday here during practice, JB after Game 1. So we're going to hear from both of those guys as we get you set for Game 2 here tonight. Keys, Serena, you know, we talked about ball security. I think aggressiveness was a huge theme. You look at the free throw attempts in Game 1, it tells a huge story.
Yeah, I mean, you can't allow the Pistons to get to the line 35 times, and that aggressive mentality has to start immediately from that first possession, and you want to see that aggression too on Cade. That's been a huge key, obviously, to this series. You're not going to stop Cade, and we talked about this with Jalen Tyson. It's about he's the head of the snake, right? How do you, and I think he used the words kind of just bite it off a little bit, right? And that's being physical with him even before he has the ball. That's getting a hit on him whenever you can in this game to set that aggressive tone, because that's the style of basketball the Pistons play. So how can you give that back to them?
Straight ahead, Kenny Atkinson, JB Bickerstaff, right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
The Road to 16 is fueled by True North Convenience Stores. True North and New Phoenix Energy are the perfect matchup. Right now, grab 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for just $5. True North stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean. By Sarah Auto Park, your buzzer beater for greater selection. Make your shot with 5 great brands and dozens of pre-owned vehicles. Visit SarahAutopark.com. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan goes to work. Whoa, he knocked down both of the Pacers. That was unbelievable. Donovan Mitchell
Mitchell.
And you're watching Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
The road to 16 is fueled by True North convenience stores. New Phoenix energy drinks. Natural caffeine, zero sugar, plus hydration to keep you in the game. Grab 2 Phoenix energy drinks for $5 at participating True North stores. Find a location with the True Rewards app. And Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
John and Serena back here inside Little Caesars Arena in Detroit as we get you set for Game 2. We had a practice here. It was a spirited one yesterday. No panic out of this club as we get set for game number 2.
No, I think, again, the positive of Game 1 is that there weren't any surprises that Detroit was throwing at you, right?
They are who we thought they were.
There's always that saying of, hey, let's give them the answers to the test when you're talking about film, right? And I think that from the Cavs' perspective, like that's what they did. And there were some things that kind of shot themselves in the foot there in Game 1. So knowing that here in Game 2, they can just do a lot of things they did in Game 1 better. I mean, take defending Cade as an example. That was an area the Cavs excelled in, I would say, in Game 1. Even though Kenny said, there's so much better they can do on him, they still did a great job there.
Cade Cunningham, 6 of 19 in game number 1. Fewest field goals made in the playoffs for Cade. But I think we're going to see the same thing. They're going to try to hit Cade. They're going to try to wear him down. When you look at this Piston team, in terms of offense, it's basically Cade. Jalen Duren had a wonderful regular season. He's been down a little bit in the playoffs. Tobias Harris was great in round number 1. But you slow down Cade Cunningham, you slow down the Pistons offensively.
Yeah, Cade was 3 of 11 in the paint, John. Yeah. So that tells a great story right there. But you also, you can't forget about the Duncan Robinsons, right? I mean, you can't leave him alone because you can argue that his, 19 points in Game 1, that really, really hurt the Cavs. So you've also got to make sure you know where he is off the ball as well.
No question about it. And Kenny talked about that after the ball game. He also talked about that yesterday here at practice.
How about this? Here's an interesting one. I'll double stat. I'll come back with the stat, right? In the first half of games in the playoffs, we are by far the team that turns it over the most. I think by 2 a game. Okay. Then the second half comes and we're 5th least amount of turnovers. So, kind of my theory is I think we're easing into games on both ends, right? Like there's a maybe because we're a veteran team, I'm not sure, but there's got to be like more force and energy to start the game and in the first half. I'd like to give myself credit, like, oh yeah, sure, it's your your halftime adjustments. I'm not sure, but I do yell them at halftime, man. We got to take it. We got to screen better. We show them clips. It's like, okay, guys, we got to do this from the get-go. So the good news with that is like we're very capable of taking care of the ball. We do it in the second half, So just got to do a better job in the first half.
You guys held Cade to 6 of 19 from the field. How do you feel about the defensive process in Game 1, and what does it take for the remainder of the series?
It could be much better, especially at the end of the game. He got loose. We're not celebrating what we did against Cade. We have to do better. We have to make it even harder on him. He's such a great player. He's ahead of the snake. And then, Duncan got loose, and we had some coverages on him that we slipped up, and you slip up 3 times with him, he makes you pay. So just more of an awareness where...
You mentioned the rebounding. J.A. obviously had that incredible game in Game 7. Then to come out after that, I'm sure he was pumped and have to sit on the bench because of foul trouble.
Unfortunate. I just think sometimes unfortunately he got those, got in foul trouble, and then I think he lost his rhythm. Then at the end of the game, we wanted to go with more spacing because we're behind, and went with, more of a shooting lineup. But listen, he's going to be a huge piece for us. Hopefully, I think that'll help tomorrow, right? We get back on our normal rotations and normal rotations for him, and he'll play great.
So as Kenny alluded to, Sam Merrill left game one in the first half. As of this morning, his status is questionable for tonight's game two. JB Bickerstaff, former head coach of the Cavs, of course, he had this to say after his game one victory.
It's not easy, right? It's not easy. And we know this is going to be a long, tough series for us. But we got to know and believe in our system and who we are, that we can sustain it. And continue that physicality. And tonight I thought we did a great job keeping them off the free throw line while being physical too.
The way this team started and the way they was able to execute at the end after the game was tied, how much of what we saw was a testament to that?
All of it. Understanding what the moment needs and what's called for. And then having the poise and confidence to go out and execute it. And, playing in 3 basically elimination games, you understand that. You understand, how important starts are, the urgency. You understand, how to close and how to finish and how to get to your spots. And then you grow belief that you can. And I think that series did a lot of that for us.
JB, you finished with 31 points off of turnovers this evening. Seemed like just about every possession you had your hands up in their business, and forcing a million turnovers. It just seemed like, was there a real emphasis going into this game of just mucking it up in there?
That's who we are defensively, right? That's what our physicality does, to people. It puts them in tight spots, and then they got to make great plays in tight spots. The aim is to wear you down as much as we possibly can. We want to be as physical with you as we can. We want to put our body on you as much as we can, pick you up full court as much as we can, and then make this, it's about a series, right? It's not just one game, and there's quick turnarounds, right? So now, can we force your legs to be a little bit heavy because we're putting that weight on you, we're putting that pressure on you, and see if we can wear you down over a series.
And just what did you like about the defense that you guys played? Obviously, Harden and Mitchell are going to be a big part of them, but, Asar in general, just what did you like about the way you guys made things tough on them?
I think we just made it difficult. There were a few mistakes that were made that gave open, easy ones. But for the most part, I felt like they had to earn it. And, again, being able to be that disruptive, being that physical, just weighing on guys, like I said, we got to be able to continue to do it because we know, how elite of scorers those guys are. And we just have to make it as difficult as we can, try to keep them off the free throw line as much as we can. And every shot has to be an earned shot versus not just one defender, but 5 defenders.
The road to 16 is fueled by True North convenience stores, new Phoenix energy drinks, natural caffeine, 0 sugar, plus hydration to keep you in the game. Grab 2 Phoenix energy drinks for $5 at participating True North stores. Find a location with the True Rewards app. And Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
John and Serena here inside Little Caesars Arena as we get you set for game 2 here tonight. Game 1, the Cavs had some different looks for a variety of different reasons. One, Jared Allen picked up his 3rd foul less than 6 minutes into the opening quarter. Max Strus, he picked up his 3rd in quarter number 2. The Cavs had the injury, of course, to Sam Merrill as well. So we saw a couple of, not new faces, but new in terms of these playoffs over the last couple of games in Keon, Ellis, and Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, you saw Thomas and Keon play about 10 minutes apiece. I thought both gave solid minutes. Yeah. Keon came in and did as best he could do in the minutes against Cade Cunningham. And Thomas Bryant is just always ready, right? Like, this is a guy who's been there before and always makes sure that he's ready for the moment. So it is possible we see more of these 2 guys tonight.
The playoffs are so interesting, for those outside the NBA. This is a marathon. To get through to the finals, it is 2 months. 2 weeks per series. To get all the way, it's 2 months. And you see this a lot when you look back at the history of the NBA. Injuries, foul trouble, it makes for some tweaks, and at times coaches can find something. It reminds me, Serena, back in 2015 NBA Finals, Steve Kerr threw David Lee into a ball game in the middle of the series. Lee had cobwebs on him, and they found something. They found something the rest of the way. Lee was huge in the rest of that series back in 2015. And again, you wonder if some of these tweaks for the Cavs, putting in new players, finding new combinations, will they find something? Will it spark something here in the second round series?
we've always talked about it. In the postseason, role players are going to win you games, right? And
they have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen it with Max Strus, who, by the way, we haven't mentioned him. He had a very solid game one. He gave you everything that you would have asked
Cavs
for.
MVP in game one. Yeah.
But then there's other guys, too, like you said, that you just never know. I mean, Keon is really, this is his first postseason. I mean, yeah, he was in the play-in when he was in Sacramento, but it's a completely different game of basketball, and he's a guy that he can come in and bring you that spark. You never know. We saw it in the regular season with Keon. I mean, he had some games where all of a sudden he just came in and completely changed the complexity of the game. And TB, he is an energy guy. When you need someone to bring you that energy in the paint, you know the minute that he checks in, you're going to feel him in the game.
Keon Ellis certainly has made a difference. The lights have never seemed too bright for Keon, and here was Keon after game one. It's our At the Mic feature, fueled by True North Convenience Stores.
I think we shot ourselves in the foot. I think we know that. You know, that first quarter, they got out to a good lead. Won every quarter after that, fought our way back. But I mean, you know, they're a good team, and you know, you give them a lead like that at the first quarter, they'll run with it. I mean, we had a lot of turnovers too, and they're a good transition team. So they did that well tonight, and just try to be better next game.
Is that kind of the vibe here going into game two? Is there's so many things that you guys could have cleaned up that you know that you can get them for game two?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I just said, you know, when you have a start like that against a team like this, I mean, you kind of, you know, shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. So a lot of mistakes that we made on our end. And I mean, you know, they did a good job too. You know, it's game one there, you know, they came out with energy. Their home crowd kind of helped them too. So, I mean, just don't overreact. Just to try to, you know, look at what we did wrong and correct for game two.
Defensively, how would you assess the job that you and the other guys did on Cade tonight?
I mean, I think we were solid. I think, you know, we could still make it tougher on him, you know, to try to, you know, throw him off of his normal routine. But I think we were solid.
What makes Duncan Robinson so hard to guard when he's trying to get open? It seemed like guys lost track of him a few times tonight.
I mean, they got some good screeners, 1, 2. I mean, that's kind of his game style. He knows that guys are going to be on him. You know, he's going to run through multiple screens, and you have to be willing to chase him off multiple screens. So I think he knows that's his game, and, you know, him shooting off of screens, he's elite at that too. So, I mean, that's just how he is, and you got to know that coming in. So he got a couple of clean looks, and, you know, he's able to knock him down.
Turnovers continue to be an issue for this team, especially on the road. What does it take to kind of clean those up?
I mean, I think some of them for sure some of them were self-inflicted, you know, maybe the wrong reads, just a little more careful with the ball, I think. But I think that's the main thing with the turnovers.
Mentally coming into this series, obviously you hadn't played, you know, a few games, but it's a brand new series, and sometimes things change with new opponents. How did you mentally stay ready for this one, obviously coming in and playing a big role?
I mean, it's nothing to me. I've been in it for a couple of years now, and, you know, we have a lot of good guys on the team. So, you know, we're winning. You can't really be in your feelings about you're not playing or whatever. Just whatever helps the team. And then, I mean, you know, tonight, you know, a guy goes down. You just kind of got to be ready. You know, you never know what's going to happen. So just try to go out there and do what I can. But yeah, no, never faze me at any point.
Keon, it's such a quick turnaround from the first series to this one. How important is this day off going to be after getting a look at Detroit and trying to make adjustments for them?
I mean, really important. I mean, I think, you know, with that day off, you don't have a lot of time in between, but, you know, you want to rest and see what things you did wrong and what things they did well, and try to put yourself in a better position for game two. So I think that's really important.
Was Detroit kind of who you guys expected them to be? Anything surprise you?
No, we know that they play hard, and they're going to stick to who they are. So, I mean, that was kind of how it was in the regular season as well. But, yeah, no, I think that's the Detroit, you know.
The road to 16 is fueled by True North Convenience Stores. True North Convenience Stores and new Phoenix Energy are the perfect matchup. Right now, grab 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for just $5. True North Stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean. And by Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
We're back to wrap things up here in Detroit as we get you set for Game 2. Here is our Road to the Finals feature. It is driven by Toyota. Last night, the 76ers hung around at Madison Square Garden for about 45 minutes before falling to the Knicks by 6 to go down 2-0 in that first-round series, and the Spurs exacted a quality measure of revenge as they took out the Timberwolves 133-95 to even that series, headed to Minnesota. Cavs and Pistons tonight. After that, the Lakers visit the Thunder as the Thunder were dominant in Game 1. They look to take a 2-0 lead in that second round series. So the next stop, fueled by True North Convenience Stores, is right here tonight. Game 2 inside Little Caesars Arena. As the Cavs, we've talked about a number of things, Serena. There's no secrets what the Cavs want to do coming in here tonight, but getting their big men involved, that's certainly high on the priority list.
Yeah, I mean, you had Jared Allen coming off that amazing Game 7, then picks up the early foul trouble here in Game 1, and it just completely took it out of the rhythm, right? And then Evan Mobley, getting him going, making sure that he's getting touches, not just roaming out in the three-point line, but making sure that he's involved. When we talked to Dennis Schroeder just yesterday, he said that is a key to this team's success. It's not all on Donovan Mitchell and James Harden.
This stretches back to the first round. The Cavs at times offensively were stagnated, having trouble getting the ball below the foul line. This is something that they've prioritized. Again, we talked about it earlier in the show. It's not just the guards, it's body movement, it's ball movement, it's the whole thing working together.
Yeah, and I know it sounds so simple, but Kenny says this all the time. Make the simple play.
Yeah.
Don't make the home run play. As soon as you see a guy open, start your offense immediately, because that's how you can create that movement, create that spacing, and get a good play in. And hey, and on top of that, Cavs got to bring the energy tonight. Sponsored by Phoenix Energy.
Yeah, well done. The Pistons got off to a nice start in Game 1, jumped all over the Cavs, led by 18 after 1. Let's see what the start has in store for us here this evening. For Serena, I'm John. Game 2 straight ahead here in Detroit.